Hey, it's Matt Bacon from Savaria Studios here. Today we're going to be talking about making money on tour, which is something that, as much as many bands want to tour, they don't seem to understand that, you gotta come home with something at the end of the day to show for it. Obviously, you have a lot of bands who are going out and saying, like, oh, hey, well, the only way to make money as a band now is on tour, which is not true, but, and then they go and they fucking spend $200 on food a day and $1 million on gas and other bullshit. That makes me physically angry, the way that people, don't seem to understand that if you want to make money on tour, you have to, cut corners and try to be as cheap as possible. Obviously you need to keep your safety in mind, which is why, I think it's better to go for a nicer touring vehicle, even if that costs you an extra $30 a day, because, then you get to sleep and, have room and, not die. It's constantly all about finding these balances, and we're going to talk more about saving money later. Right now I want to talk about purely gross profit, which at the end of the day is going to be all about merch. Because even bands who you think are big, even bands that, I just got back from Hellfest, and I saw bands there play to 10,000 people who I've personally booked for $200. So no matter how big you get, there's still a lot of times when you're just going to be stuck playing a club in Yakima, and that's okay. So you can't really rely on guarantees. Yeah, you can have a booking agent and you can try to have a minimum, but up until a very high level, relatively speaking, you're not going to be able to have enough of a guarantee to really use that as an operating cost as such. So you just need to figure out, how can I maximize my merch opportunities, right? And so obviously that comes in having diverse forms of merch. I liked that band Antichrist Demon Corps. Before they broke up, they would sell bathrobes and onesies and shit. With a band I manage, we're gonna get those romp hymns made, which we're really excited about. I think the real key though for smaller bands on a budget is to get items that you can sell for $5 or less. Because if someone comes into a club and doesn't know about your band, but they know you're on tour, they're not going to spend $10-15 on a t-shirt, but they'll probably be a lot more likely to spend $5 on a beer koozie or a patch or a lighter. I kind of prefer things with a little bit of utility, like beer koozies and lighters, because a patch is a commitment. A patch you have to sew somewhere and you have to rep that band for the rest of your life, and what if you find out they're Nazis? A lighter, especially the lighter with the beer bottle opener, those are items that people actively want. Especially the demographic that attends metal shows or rock shows or whatever. The people who are going to underground concerts. Beyond that, a lot of bands lose money because they're not hanging out at the merch stand. They'd rather go to the bar and talk to their buddies in town, which doesn't work out. I've seen countless bands miss a lot of sales because they just didn't have someone always at the merch stand. When you get off stage, your singer should just be packing up as quick as possible and running over. Or you should some bands even have someone else pack up the lead singer's shit, because it's that important for him to be beside the merch stand talking to people. Because people want to connect with the band. And furthermore, you have to be willing to cut deals. Every band on tour should have a CD and t-shirt bundle, or a CD and patch bundle, or whatever. Just have as many bundles as possible. Be willing to always shave off a couple of dollars, but you also consequently have to be aware of the ROI, the return on investment of every single item. So you have to be aware, okay, a t-shirt cost me $4 to print, and I'm selling it for $15, so that means I have $11 of leeway there, but you also have to kind of figure out, okay, maybe I'm selling a t-shirt for $15 and it costs $4, but there's also $1.50 that has to go to management, for example. So be aware of how much each item needs to sell for and use that to inform your package deals. At the end of the day, a lot of bands fail to crunch numbers accurately, and that becomes really stressful. But I think once you get a good system in place, it becomes really easy to kind of have fun with it and ride the wave and, just have a wild and wacky tour. Thank you for watching that video you just watched. Please like it or share it or say yes, maybe out loud. Maybe a couple people around you will notice and also watch the video or something. Anyway, thank you very much.